What's up, guys? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and coming at you with another free video here tonight. Taking a look at the markets, and I have to be honest here. This action looked good, right? So over the past few days, obviously here was FOMC last Wednesday, and the markets have since gone lower after that announcement, whatever that announcement was. I think it was to hold rates. Again, I don't necessarily care too much about the news, but markets here are breaking down, and we're getting in this weird situation where we may in fact be putting in a potential kind of lower high situation on the weekly chart, which then puts us in a weekly downtrend. And if that's going to be the case, then we've got plenty of room to go. A daily chart down in here gives us plenty of room to drop, but we're in this kind of weird transition where we've got a nice flush already to the downside, and it's like, okay, cool. Does the market rally back here for a little bit at least and then continue lower, or do we just kind of go sideways here, just not really dying yet and then, die next week, right? So I'm looking at this and coming into, the close here today, it looked pretty good, right? We managed to put in a pretty decent little green bar on the day, close up here 43.80s. But you can see we're down about 20 points here in after hours, 43.61s here. And as we kind of just, take a look across the board at the indices, Russell here down, 0.46, or sorry, NASDAQ down 0.46% there. Russell down 0.44%, which is actually maybe holding up a little bit better, arguably, than some of the other markets here. Dow down 0.34%. This one I don't really think bounced quite as much. It actually was a little bit weaker here today. Tried to go a little bit lower. This was actually my trade of the day here, so I'll go ahead and review that real quick for you guys. So my trade of the day was, oddly enough, a long in the Dow, one of the weaker markets here. But as you guys know, I use this divergent strategy here. And we fired this off right here with this green arrow down here off of lows. So I was able to actually, pick up a position in the Dow at 34.064. I took off the first little piece of that position here at 34.134. I just used a round number kind of target there in terms of my entry point, and it was a couple points in front of the opening print, which was 34.139. So I went just 5 points in front of that for the Dow here, and then the rest of that position ended up trailing out up here at 34.184s. And again, obviously, looking at this in hindsight, is like, well, you could have held it all the way up into here towards the close and picked up another 100 points. Yeah, but I probably would have gotten trailed out somewhere down in here, or I would have had to have, given back a good portion of profits here, over 100 points to then try and, capture a couple extra points there. So anyways, overall, I can't complain here. Start to finish, it was less than like 20 minutes in this trade. Was kind of stalking it, and I punched it in the Discord. And the interesting thing here is, as we were watching this, I'll pull this back over actually so you can see, at the time of this entry for longs, I wrote in the chat, I'm like, hey, the markets look like we're either going to spike lower in the NASDAQ or the Dow divergence is going to hold and trigger and take us higher. Now, ultimately, that, ends up being the case here, is that the Dow trigger ultimately ends up working and takes us higher. And we were able to participate upon that. But I can't help but think here that this market is weak and holding weak here, especially, this move in the after hours. Dow down 120 points, NASDAQ down 71 points here. So, like I said in the beginning of this video, is, I kind of think we're in that weird spot where we may want to try and bounce, and I think there's a lot of people that are looking for that right now, but the action in which I'm seeing, yeah, we held green today, but it's not super impressive, right? We didn't really do, we had a pretty decent range, 150 points out of the NASDAQ, but we really didn't do anything in which, I would have expected us to do, other than holding this 14,805 quarter. So I'll bring this all the way back full circle on us here. 14,805 quarters is going to be super, super important going forward here. And in addition to 14,805 quarters, which is also what I wrote, Sunday night is, and also on the Instagram stories, if you guys are following those, is going to be important. If we break that, then, we've got plenty of room to drop here in the NASDAQ. This overnight low down here I thought was interesting too at 782 quarters, and we traded 782.50s today. So we got a one tick front run of that level. We did manage to hold 805s here, at least for the day. But right now, kind of looks like we want to retest those here in the overnight session going into tomorrow. So my game plan to wrap this video up here, leave you guys with a takeaway is if we can open above 805 quarters tomorrow, come down and test this 782 quarter level, this overnight low, and then get back above opening print, then I'm interested in longs, and I think then we might have a shot at trading the 15,010s again. And, it's a pretty decent move. It'll be, roughly, depending on where we open at, 200 points, give or take. If we open under 14,805 quarters, then there's no hero stuff in this market, right? We got plenty of room to drop. And at that point, we're going to be looking for a continuation of the downside here, even though the daily is getting a bit extended. Like I said, that weekly is potentially in charge here and putting us in a weekly downtrend. So anyways, that's what I've got here at the moment. There's not too many individual names that stand out to me right now. Obviously, I'm currently long some FedEx, which is working. And we'll allow that one to continue to go ahead and work here. The after hours on this thing's always wacky. It's FedEx. But really nice move up over the 264.52 today. Managed to hold and pushing higher. A little bit of a pullback there into the end of the day. But I really like this daily, weekly, the second day earnings catalyst and all of that. And looking for this as long as market holds to then be able to get up over 270 bucks on the week. So anyways, that's what I got. Kind of a long video and bouncing back and forth across a couple different things. But really, overall, just kind of interesting spot for these markets here. And I think that might be the case for this week. So anyways, take care. Hope it helps. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.